What's going on? Today's video is going to be a lot different. I'm going to talk to you about how to create content. Now, this information can apply to anybody. It doesn't have to be just for rappers, producers, musicians. This can literally be for anybody. You could be a freaking personal trainer, you could be a dentist, you could be a freaking, I don't know, you could be all types of different things, but this is going to apply to everybody, okay? So this is what I've learned. I'm going to get straight to the point. Value should be the driving force behind your content. Content is the driving force behind your brand. So now I'm going to talk specifically to all you artists and producers. Look, if you're a creative person and that's what you do, you put out music or you sell beats or you sell mixing and mastering, whatever, or you do shows, you're a brand. Whether you like it or not, you're a brand, like Coke and Pepsi. Not as big as them yet, but that's what you are. You have some kind of representation of a message. You need to start thinking of yourself that way. And so when it comes to a lot of people wonder, how do I make it big in the industry? How do I get my name out there? This and that. How do we expose ourselves, right? And it's kind of complicated, right? And you'll go through YouTube and you'll search up tons of different things. How to beat the Instagram algorithm. How to get more followers. Look, before you even start trying to figure out how to get followers and how to get people behind you, you need to have something that they can get behind, right? So let's start with the first part, value. Value drives your content, okay? So what I mean by that is you have to start thinking of what you're doing in the perspective of the people that are looking at it. So I'll give you an example, right? I'm a rapper, I'm a producer, I put out music, I'm a musician, right? I'm not just thinking, what's the easiest way for me to put out my music? Because the easiest thing is just put up the photo cover of the song and tell people to go to the link in the bio. That's the easiest thing. But is that really the most valuable way that a consumer or a fan or a customer or a listener, whatever you want to call them, is that the best way for them to absorb it? Because they're not really interested in seeing your photo cover. I mean, if you've got some real ride or die fans and they want to know when you're putting out music, great. Then, you know, you've gotten to that point. But if you're not, if you're like a lot of us, if you're like me, you're still trying to gain that momentum and you're still trying to get to the point where I just need to start getting some people supporting me. I want momentum. Start providing some more value when it comes to your content. So I'll give you an example. I'll give you an even smaller micro example and I'll expand on it. A lot of people put up pictures, right? Look, like a picture. I got a picture right here. This is a picture of me and my friends at Benihana. I think it was for my 22nd birthday, right? Now, this picture has tons of meaning to me. A lot. I mean, this holds a lot of sentimental value. I put it here on my desk where I work. Now, I could post that on Instagram, and I posted it years ago, so I'm not going to do it again, but when you post something, like, I could post that and just go like boys night out, like as my caption, something stupid like that. I don't know. You could post something like, you know, family over everything, or, you know, brothers till I die. Just, you could post one of those with some emojis, or you could tell a story, right? I could just show y'all this pic and go, look, here's a picture. Or I could say, the reason that this picture holds, like, this is the caption of the Instagram post. It would be something like, you know, let me tell you guys a story. Read below. And then press return, hit the 2 dots. I'll teach you that in another video. Press the 2 dots and then get to the story. And start treating your Instagram posts like blog posts. I've not invented this. I heard this from many different people. So go, you know, Benihana is one of my favorite restaurants, if not my favorite restaurant. It's not just a restaurant where you can, and by the way, I wasn't paid by Benihana to do this video. I just thought of this. You know, you get to have entertainment. You get to mess with the chef. And I remember the night that we did this, me and my friends, we were going really crazy there. There was like 15 of us. Not everyone got in this picture. There was like 15 of us, and we all just went crazy. We were screaming at the chef, like in a good way. Like, I'm laughing just thinking about it. And so you tell a story, right? You could literally do that with all the pictures you post. Start adding value. Now, for me, if you look at my Instagram, which, by the way, at Leezy the Gifted, I would really recommend everyone go follow me. But if you look, you'll see my captions are long, right? I'm not aiming to get more likes. I'm not aiming to get more comments. It's about strengthening the depth of those comments. Does that make sense? So it's all about value. What value are you providing in your content. It doesn't just apply to Instagram. That's just the platform that I spend a lot of time on. It can be Twitter, Facebook, Snap, whatever. There's always got to be some kind of value, right? So the value is what has to drive the content. Now let's frame this more towards songs. Let's say you have a song, right? And you worked hard on this song. You put a lot of work into this song, or maybe you didn't. Maybe it was an easy song to make, but it ended up coming out really cool. Either way, there was some kind of story behind you making that song, right? So you could post your link in bio, right? If you've got 10,000 followers, you could do the swipe up on your story, whatever, and just be like, go click this link. Well, that doesn't really provide value, even if it's a cool photo cover, even if it's a dope photo. It's just like whatever. Like, people are just scrolling and seeing another photo. For you to get people to actually take action and do something is hard. You have to do something. You have to give them something in return, right? So what I've done right now, see, I produce my own music. So I've got a lot of different ways to create my content. But what I would like you to think about, let's say you haven't started producing your own music. Let's say you're not a musician. Let's say you're a public speaker. Let's say, like I said, you're a personal trainer, whatever. Don't just post something. Don't just post a picture or a video. Figure out a way to repurpose that. Expand it. I looked, I'll post the link below, but I found actually, I don't even know if I know where the link is at, but Gary Vaynerchuk, right? Gary V, one of my favorites, who is amazing. If you don't know him, go check him out. He posted something called the Gary V content model. I don't remember where he posted it, but it was a free download. It was like 80 different slides, and it was how he repurposes his content. He took a 45-minute speech, and it was a video, and repurposed that into 30 different pieces of content across all the social media platforms. Now think about, he did a 45-minute speech in front of, 10,000 people or whatever. Maybe it was 20,000 people, right? It reached 20,000 people that day. But after that, he repurposed it, and it reached millions of people because he was able to repurpose it. Same with, let's say, your song. If you have a song, put out the song and put out a behind, and like do something like pull out your phone. Like, I'm filming this on my phone. Pull out your phone, flip it around, make it a selfie video like I'm doing right now. Talk about how you made the song. Talk about the meaning of the song. Talk about line by line. Talk about what it took to record it, right? There's a story behind it. You probably were in the room with people. Maybe you weren't. Maybe you were by yourself. Maybe you prefer to be by yourself. Either way, figure out a way to craft the story and tell it in video form. Now, video to me is the best way to do it. If you're not a video person, then do it in a written blog. Do it in a written way. Record yourself and make a podcast out of it. If you're like me, like I'm an eccentric person, I'm an extrovert, I'm going to do all of those. I'm going to do every single one. Now, like I said, you've now got a song and you've got a YouTube video of you explaining it. And by the way, you're going to find, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm very positive through my own testing, that behind the scenes video is probably going to get more attention than your actual song. And it's going to piss you off at first, because I know it did for me. Maybe it won't, but it did for me. Don't let it piss you off. That's okay. As long as you've got people's attention, there's no reason to get mad. Same with if you're, my mom's a public speaker, right? I'm not going to say her name. I don't know how she feels about me doing all that, but she's a public speaker, right? So for all you public speakers out there, if you've got a message, craft it, make it into a video, do a podcast, written blog, all these types of things. Now, a great way, like I said though, it should all be value. What is the value of that behind the scenes? That behind the scenes value is people get to see the process. People like seeing the process. How do I know? Because it's happened with me. I post a song, it gets some likes, gets some views, some people listen to it, and then I'll post the behind the scenes video of how I made the song. Way more views, way more attention, way more comments, way more love, way more focused engagement. It's not even close. It's not even close. So instead of thinking, here's another idea for you, right? For you rappers out there. Actually, this idea can be translated to anybody. But when you're an artist and you put out a song, it's got a bunch of production to it. It was probably mixed and mastered, dope beat, lyrics, recording, everything. It was so perfect. And I've done the same thing. But what I found is I'll take a verse from that song, probably the first verse, maybe the second verse, and I will go on my speakers, I'll play the beat out loud. I'll make a video on my phone, a selfie video, and I will live perform, rap my verse to the beat. And I'll post that video. That video gets way more attention than any songs that I've ever put out. You can go check my Instagram. I have a couple of posts like that. I don't know how many, but I have a pretty good amount. You can go look. It's going to be a video of me. It's going to look like I'm talking, but I'm rapping. Way more views. You could look. A couple of them got more than 1,000 views. I think one might even have 2,000 views. I don't know. But the point is, value has to drive your content, right? Now I'm talking about the distribution of it. Take whatever piece of content and redistribute it across all of these different platforms. That is the best way for you to put out your material. Again, this is not just for rappers and producers. This is for everybody that's trying to do anything remotely entrepreneurial. And if you're not, become entrepreneurial and freaking do this, okay? So value, right? And again, value has to drive your content, and content is the driving force behind your brand. You have to have lots of content. It's important that you're consistent and frequent. What do I mean by that? Because that's not the same thing. If I was putting out, let's say I was putting out like one song every month. It's not bad. And let's say I just did that. Like I put out a song and I released it. Okay, and I did it every month. Well, that would be consistent once a month, but it's not frequent. It's not that frequent. If you're not putting out content on a weekly basis now, like nowadays people put out content on a daily basis. You got to look, the attention of your fans, you're in competition with Gary Vee. As an artist, I'm in competition with Drake, Migos, Travis Scott, Kanye West. I am, because it's the person who's see, and you got to think about that. See, when you starting out, you might not have thought of that, but they are your competition, because your fans' attention is your fans' attention. They either are giving it to you or they're giving it to them. Same with their dollars. If you put out a shirt and Kanye puts out a shirt, where are they going to go? Right? More likely than not, a large amount of people would rather go buy Kanye's than yours. No offense, I'm just saying, but I mean, until you build that connection with those people. The point of what I'm trying to say is, though, think of it like that. If you think that you're going to get off just putting out a song a month, you're wrong. Now, a lot of you are going to come back and go, well, J. Cole puts out an album a year and then goes ghost. Dude, it's freaking J. Cole. Stop thinking of it like that. J. Cole blew up before Instagram was even a thing. Same with Drake, same with Jay-Z, same with Kanye. They blew up before Instagram even was invented. They were already platinum artists. So they can do whatever the hell they want. They've already got their platform. For us, the people who are trying to build it, we got to build it through the current friggin' platforms and stuff, all right? So value drives your content. Content drives your brand. To make good content, or not just to make good content, but the way to do your content, be consistent and be frequent. Frequent. Take one thing that you are going to do, one piece of content, do it every single week. Mine is a podcast. I have a podcast called Big Talk with Leezy. This whole topic I talked about on one of my podcasts. I'll link that below. But Big Talk with Leezy, I do it every week. I've gone 33 weeks in a row. I haven't missed a week. And the reason I chose that over a song is because creatively, like, I work on music all the time, but sometimes I go through slumps where I'm like not feeling creative and I'm not feeling like I can put together a dope song. It's going to happen. I could do 2 a month, but I can't do 1 a week. I just haven't gotten to that point yet. Podcasts are freaking easy. I just talk. I'm basically doing one right now. I'm just talking and recording myself and throwing it out. I could do that easily. Just pick one type of content that you think is easy to do for you, and it should cost $0. My podcast doesn't cost me any money to record. Same with music. Music doesn't cost me any money either. That's why I put out 2 songs a month. Again, by the way, making videos on YouTube doesn't cost you any money. You should definitely be putting out a video a week, at least. Really great YouTubers, like I watch a guy named Rob Level, Smart Rapper TV. Dude, he puts out a video every single day. Consistent and frequent, I'm telling you. So, value has to drive your content. Content has to drive your brand. I'm going to give you one last thing. Think about this. This is going to be specific right now. I'm going to get real specific. This is going to be very specific for social media people. If you're a social media marketer or you want to have a social media agency, here's the tip coming from a person who wants to hire that person. Okay? This is my perspective only. I'm not saying it's for everybody. If you're a social media person, or you say, hey, I'm a social media agency, right? If that's what you are, and you don't have a pop in social media, I would never hire you. Now, I made the mistake. I did hire somebody who really didn't have that great of a social media, and I thought, well, I'm just going to trust their word that they know what they're talking about. It turned out they didn't. I found out I knew more than them. I fired them. But the point is, I learned my lesson. If you're going to hire somebody for something, don't do it unless they've got some projects and work to prove it. It should be on themselves. The best example I can give you is that's why I have so much faith charging people for mixing and mastering. Like, I do mixing and mastering. If somebody goes, well, how do I know you're good at it? Bro, look, I do my own work. All the songs I put out, or not all of them, but like the last probably the last 20 songs, I think maybe like 15 songs that I've put out, I've fully produced, I've mixed, and I've mastered, and I've gotten a lot better, you can see. That's why you should trust me to mix and master. But I do it because I come from that place of I don't want someone to pay me unless they trust me. So if you're a social media agency, or if you're trying to be a social media agency, put out freaking content that helps people with social media. That's what Gary Vee does. That's why Gary Vee is the freaking man. He has companies like Budweiser pay him to do social media because he is the king of social media. Everyone knows if you need to learn something about social media, you go to Gary Vee's content, he's going to give it to you for free. All right, so that was all I've got. Let me review. Value has to drive your content. Content is what drives your brand. When it comes to making content, be consistent and be frequent. The way to be consistent and frequent is find one type of content, podcast, a blog, a YouTube channel, songs, whatever it is, and do it at least once a week. If you can do it more, do that. Start with once a week. Start with once a week. If you can do more than once a week, do that. If you can't, you need to switch your platform. You need to switch what type of content you're putting out, all right? Hey, thank you so much for watching. I've been wanting to put out a video kind of like this, and I really appreciate your attention. If you've not already, click below, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to put out way more videos just like this one because I really want to help people find their way, even though I'm not really a freaking expert. I know some things maybe that you might not know, so I'd like to help you out, all right? So click subscribe, hit the bell notification, so every time I put out a video, you don't miss it. Below is also the link to subscribe to my podcast. Be sick if you did that too. Whatever you got, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Peace!